Hi everyone, so I have my demo and review and possible alternatives for the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish 003 kits. So I did purchase both the nude and the golden, and I think I've pretty much decided I am going to send both of them back based on how I feel about how unique they are, how well they work on my skin, and the colors, the price that I paid. So just an FYI, I don't think that these are worth keeping for me personally. So both of the shiny sticks, as they're called, are a balm on one side and a cream highlight on the other side. The balm gives a very shiny kind of wet finish here, right there. Though on my skin, my cheeks are quite dry. I found that it just kind of sank into my skin and disappeared after a couple hours, but it was super pretty at the time. And in the demo, you can see it may or may not kind of break down the foundation you're wearing. When you put it over top, it's a very emollient feeling product, and that it does sink in. I don't know what the ingredients are, but my guess is there might be some oils in there that can kind of break down makeup a little bit. If you're looking for an alternative, I would suggest something like the MAC lip gloss, the clear lip gloss. I have that right here. So you can see it can also give you a very high shine finish. The difference is obviously that this is very sticky, but I found that this wears on my skin a lot better, though if your hair is touching it, that may be an unpleasant feeling, having your hair stick to your face. But it will give you a similar kind of finish. So the creams, I have tried a couple different ways of applying it, you know, kind of rubbing my finger in there and then patting it, or like in the demo, I just kind of smeared it on my face. Before it got warmer in my house, I found that these were a little too dry to apply that way. If the balm is down already, it does glide on a lot easier. The golden one felt a little bit more dry, felt like it was kind of dragging a little bit when I tried to just swipe it on. I feel like these can kind of enhance the texture on my cheeks a little bit. It's not my favorite formula for a cream product. It's okay. It's interesting in that it's a little bit different, I feel, than some of the other creams that I have, where it feels like it's just really super packed with these shimmer particles and can give almost a metallic look. So I do have these swatched, and I swatched a fair amount of other highlights just to give you an idea of the color on these. For reference, my skin tone is around NC5 to NC10. Today on my face I'm wearing the Missha BB cream, the Signature Real Complete in shade 13, which is not my favorite base, but whatever. I wasn't really planning to do this video today, so you get what you get. So here is the highlight, the nude cream highlight right there. So it's a little bit more pink than any other cream highlight I have. Right here is the golden. It's not as yellow as I thought. It's kind of yellow, but it's also a little bit warmer. Right here I have the Becca Champagne Gold liquid highlight that was limited edition during holiday 2 years ago maybe, which is more straight up yellow. Not a color I've really worn. You can't really see it, but right here is the Kevin Aqua Celestial cream. And right here is Becca's Opal in the liquid form. And right down here I have MAC's Cream Color Base in Pearl. So for the pigments, this is the gold, fine gold pigment. And right next to it I have NARS Albatross. So swatched here, they don't look very similar, but I actually wore, the other day, I wore this plain without the cream underneath and NARS on the other side, so just one side with the fine gold and the other side with Albatross. You really couldn't tell the difference on my face, and the fine gold seemed like the texture was a little bit more refined, a little bit smoother looking maybe, but other than that, it was about the same. And by the end of the day, Albatross hadn't really moved, but I found the fine gold, some of those shimmer particles that were like on other parts of my face, it had just kind of like moved down. Right here is the iridescent pink pigment. And then next to it, I have the Color Pop highlighter in Monster. So the iridescent pink is a little bit more of a stronger pink flash, but again, on the cheeks, I think that unless you really layer that iridescent pink on very heavily, it's gonna look really similar to the Monster highlight. As far as the consistency of the products, I think the nicest, most bold, shiny, reflective finish is if you layer all three like I did on this side that you'll see in the demo, with the balm underneath and then the cream on top and then the powder. I feel like when you use the powder alone, especially for the iridescent pink, you get a lot more of that pink flash, and it can be a little intense and very pink on the cheeks and seem like it should be more of kind of a blush topper as opposed to like an actual traditional highlight, unless you're going for a very distinct look. When you layer it over the creams, I feel like it's not as crazy, it's not as pink, it's a little bit more, it kind of blends in with the rest of the look and does give a very nice kind of finish effect on the look, on the cheeks. When I first got the gold, I thought, gosh, that's awfully dark, it's gonna look really strange, but since I do have a lot of freckles here, I do have kind of a built-in bronzer almost, and I feel like the yellow isn't really strongly yellow. It's golden, but not too bad. And then comparing the fine gold pigment, wearing it with Albatross at the same day, I realized this looks fine. I don't mind this, whatever. But, so it kind of sold me on the gold, but then on the other hand was, if I want to wear that gold, I can just wear Albatross on my cheeks. And the other thing was, well, I thought maybe I could use it for an eyeshadow. It seems like such an amazing, different, interesting color, that fine gold. When you swatch it, it's like when you're in Sephora and you swatch something and you're like, oh my gosh. And it's those lights, you know, same as a beauty counter. Then you get outside or you get home and you're just kind of like, where did the magic go? You know, I remember the first time I swatched NARS Galapagos eyeshadow, I was like, oh, this is so cool, I have to get this. But then I actually use it and those little shimmer particles just don't ever translate the same way they do under those lights and with a finger swatch, so. I feel like it's some of this kind of same situation, because when I put it on my eyes, I just feel like it's kind of you know, it ends up looking pretty yellow, gold, light gold, whatever. That kind of interesting base where it's a little bit like a cool gray base almost when you don't see the yellow flash. I feel like it just doesn't really translate on your eyes and it just ends up looking yellow, and so it's just not as exciting as I had hoped. So what it comes down to is I have a fair amount of highlighters, not a huge collection. I mean, for someone that makes YouTube videos, I don't have a massive collection of highlighters, but I do have probably 10 to 15, which is awful sounding now that I say it out loud. But this whole situation is really not what I was hoping for. Let's put it this way. I was hoping that I could wear the balm alone, I could wear the cream alone, I could wear the pigment alone, and I would love the way they all looked on my face. That's not really the case. I don't really like any of them worn separately. I like the balm, but it disappears. The cream is okay, but sometimes it does funny things to my foundation, like it might kind of lift it a little or make it look a little cakey, which is a problem I encounter with other cream highlights. It's certainly not unique to this product, so that makes it a little more high maintenance. That I need to layer up all these things. Well, now I'm looking at basically paying $70 to $80 for one highlight because I have to use them all at one time. And that is not acceptable to me. That's just too much money, and I don't like the finished look so much. I'm not like, this is the best highlight I've ever used. It's not having that kind of effect. So that's why I am not keeping them. I will also say that the brush, I have heard that it's supposed to be for blending out the creams, but I find it to be a little too wispy to blend out the creams because they are a little bit stiff. And because it's so sparse, it really doesn't pick up much pigment if you use it for the pigments. Though this, I feel like, is almost exactly like a MAC 188, so if you were looking for that 188 to be in your collection anyway, this might be, you know, another reason to get it with the kit, because if you can find value in all the different things, I think it's not a bad price. So hopefully in this rambling, I did get what I wanted to say out there. I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you did pick these up and whether or not you are interested in trying to obtain them. One other thing I wanted to mention about the packaging, you know, that this kind of packaging is kind of not so great, but what I was really disappointed with is on these tubes, the caps don't really stay on that well. They have a tendency to kind of pop off a little bit, and I mean, you can see this one's kind of popped off too. So with a cream product, that's such a problem because they dry out. So really such a bummer that these tubes just aren't really a great packaging. Maybe if she releases these again, she'll repackage them, put them in something that closes a little bit better. I don't know. Since you are paying a decent amount of money for that entire kit, it's a little sad when some of the packaging just doesn't work very well. And stuff like this, you know, it's very basic, but at least you can see what color it is through the lid. That's always nice. Maybe a little logo would be nice, but whatever. That, I can't really complain about that. And same with, you know, having a sticker on the brush as opposed to actually having something etched into the brush. You know, minor quibbles. So the baby is awake and not so happy, so I am going to go fetch him. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. God. I cannot record any video. I can't even say it. This is the third time I've tried to record this video because my opinion keeps changing. Whew. And I tried to record the highlighter tag from Dustin Hunter twice yesterday, and I'm losing my mind here. I don't know why I can't just do a video and be done with it.